Molly put it on the wall.
Oh, hey, Vinyl District, you're looking good. It's Kevin Griffin of the band Better Than Ezra and of a recent solo record that came out October 4th. The vinyl drop November 8th. It's funny we should talk about vinyl because I'm in front of Som Records here in Washington, D.C., and we're going to go vinyl shopping. I'll have some anecdotes, some fantastical stories of debauchery from the road, and some great musical insights. So come on, don't be afraid. It's not like you're going to get tied up and put in some secret chamber. It's just a record store. Now, when you're an artist, you always want to come into the record store and see your own record first. That's all you really care about, let's be honest. I'm only here to push my swag. But it's really cool. Charles Bradley. There's a great story about Charles Bradley. Charles Bradley was a soul singer, kind of toiling in obscurity most of his life. He was in a James Brown cover band. He was a chef in a restaurant. Someone overheard him singing the guys that play in the Dap Kings, Sharon Jones, the Dap Kings, and he had this whole renaissance. So before he passed away, he made many cool albums and became a hot property at music festivals like ACL and Lollapalooza. And my festival I started, Pilgrimage Music Festival in Franklin, Tennessee. The great thing is a lot of people, you know, when they hear Better Than Ezra, you know, they don't immediately think of George Clinton and P-Funk, or Rammstein for that matter, or Insane Clown Posse. But what do all these bands have in common? They shared the bill with Better Than Ezra. We've opened for P-Funk, we've opened for Rammstein, and we've opened for Insane Clown Posse. Insane Clown Posse opening ended with me getting hit in front of the face with a wet roll of toilet paper, but it was fun. Anyhow, P-Funk. About 10 years ago, Better Than Ezra was playing in Notre Dame. It was their spring fling, and I don't know what the kids were smoking at Notre Dame when they said let's put Better Than Ezra and P-Funk on the same bill, but we got to be the benefactors of that. And George Clinton and his gang were out of their minds, and they rocked to much later than the Campus Police wanted them to. What's the name of that psychedelic Brazilian band? David Byrne is really into. I'll remember it. That's the great thing about a record store, kids, if you don't know this, is that it's like a treasure hunt. You're just like, what was the name of that artist? What was the name of that band? And then you go through that tactile, physical sensation of looking at a record and liner notes is kind of a lost art. So we're rediscovering that right now. Let's keep checking this out. Oh, Thin Lizzy. This band has influenced more rock bands. Thin Lizzy and Phil Lynott, you know, they had Jailbreak, that had Cowboy Song, that had The Boys Are Back in Town. I just ate that album up. Patti Smith. I live in Nashville now, and I've been writing with this guy named Emery Dobbins. He's a producer, and he, in addition to writing with all these country artists and me, he's produced the past 2 Patti Smith records, which is crazy. The Who by Numbers, an amazing record. It's got Squeezebox on it. I love it when I meet a musician who's like a icon. They're older, but they're just badass. Who's still super excited about music and making music and new music and new equipment. Pete Townshend's one of those guys. John Oates from Hall & Oates is one of those people. This guy, man. I've heard his new the biography is supposed to be really good. Well, it's the autobiography he was working on before he passed away. My favorite record is Dirty Mind, followed by 1999, followed by Controversy. One of my favorite records of all time. This is a record that was produced by Andy Wallace. Lover, You Should Have Come Over is one of my favorite songs, and on my new album there's a song called Anyone Ever, and I name checked this song because it's about a relationship, and we used to listen to that all the time. This is what I like doing. I usually do this with my shirt off, but I don't want people to freak out. You just kind of just go, you walk with your eyes closed to the bend. You kind of feel your way, and you let the muse guide your hand. Okay, here we go. What in God's name? Oh, it's the Pogues! Oh, wow. That was actually a pretty good one. Let's do it again. Feeling, sensing. I'm hoping it's going to be Olivia Newton-John. Let's see. Uh-oh. This feels like Lamb of God. Down! Down. A New Orleans band. Phil Anselmo. From what band? Pantera. That's right. One of the greats of all time, Curtis Mayfield. He is a cautionary tale for all musicians because I don't know how long ago, but he was sound checking, I think, and the lighting truss fell on him overhead and paralyzed him, and he was, bound to a wheelchair. That accident, knock on wood, ushered in a lot of, safety protocols in that world. For what it's worth. See, you thought it was just going to be about music, but it's about so much more. We like having fun, but there's a serious part to this episode as well, because my favorite band of all time, one of the greatest records, is in my hands. That band is Rush, and this is Permanent Waves. I was potentially their biggest fan in the early 80s. Certainly I was their biggest fan in Monroe, Louisiana. You do a primary market tour when you're a band, you do the big cities like DC and Chicago, New York, then you do the secondary market, then you do the tertiary market tour. That was Monroe, Louisiana. They played the Monroe Civic Center. Me and my buddy Joel Rundle staked out the Holiday Inn Holodome, and we waited in the arcade until we saw Alex Lifeson and Geddy Lee. We were there about 5 hours, and finally we see Alex Lifeson and Geddy walking through the Holiday Inn in Monroe, Louisiana. They walk up to the front where the breezeway is, waiting for their car service. I could have told them there is no car service in Monroe, Louisiana in 1982. So me and my buddy Joel, we go up and introduce ourselves, and I'm sure I was 15 years old, and I have my driver's license, because you get your driver's license when you're 15. You used to. I was like, hey, we'll take you riding around. You're the biggest band in the world, and we're 15 years old, and I've got a 1978 Honda Civic that's called the Green Barchetta with no air conditioning. Why would you not get in our car? Finally, after about 45 minutes, Geddy goes, so where's you guys' car? And I was like, oh my God. And I went and got the Green Barchetta, and me and Joel with Alex Lifeson and Geddy Lee in the back of my hatchback, went around Monroe, Louisiana, and we went to H. Michael Sports. They bought tennis rackets. They had to have them strung. Alex said, they got to string these rackets. We don't have time to do that. If you bring them back to us at Soundcheck, you can come hang out at Soundcheck, and we'll get your t-shirts. And we were like, hell yes. I've got a photo. Here's what I'll do. I'll give the Vinyl District guys the photo of me with Alex Lifeson. They're putting it up right now. You can see it. See me? That's my new wave haircut you're looking at. So I got to get up on stage with Rush during Soundcheck. I was 15 years old. It doesn't get any bigger than this. And Alex taught me how to play Spirit of the Radio, and I will play that acoustic tonight at City Winery. I've been giving you a deep dive into the world of vinyl, as only I can tell it. But so this is my solo record. Oh, see, you don't get this on Spotify. You don't get paper cuts on Spotify. All right. My favorite part was I got to choose colored vinyl, and it looks like the regular vinyl until you look at it. See, look here. Isn't that pretty? Anywhere you go. I made it in my studio called Pink Deer Studios in Franklin, Tennessee, using great old equipment, minimal production, and I just wanted it to sound like some of my favorite records. Keep spinning records, keep buying records. They sound better on vinyl, and it's just more fun. You can taste it. You can bite it. This is actually scratch and sniff. It's up to you where you want to sniff. I'll leave that up to you. All right, bye. See you guys.